Well, hello, my name is Bill Reimer, and let's talk about memory. What is memory? Memory is the process of taking information from the world outside and processing it, storing it, and being able to recall it. Memory is the cornerstone of our existence. It determines the quality of our decisions. The decisions we make can determine our own entire life. Think about how important memory is. Without it, who would we be? Without memory, you'd not be able to function in this world. Your memory is the glue that binds your life together. Everything you are today is because of your memory. If I were to ask you, who are you? You would immediately start recalling things, putting your memory together to try to give me an answer. If you didn't have a memory, you wouldn't be able to learn, to think, to create, or even tie your shoes. There's two main theories about memory. The first one is that you're born with it and that you have that innate ability, and that's pretty much it for the rest of your life. When we go to school, they don't teach us much about how to improve your memory. The second outlook about memory is that it's really just a habit. And like any other habit, you can practice it and get stronger and better at it. You may have seen on TV where people, men or women, can remember hundreds of names or birth dates or playing cards. Well, now science has studied those people and found out they really do not have superior memories. But what they do have is an organized process for storing information in their mind and an organized process for recalling that information. When we hear, what happens is when we hear something or see something, our brain cells called neurons form little circuits and connections. And so the more we experience that same thought or sight, it reinforces those circuits and make it stronger and stronger. So that repetition is really the key. But there's several systems for learning how to memorize. Different ones are better for different people, but let's go over 8 different systems for memorizing. The first one is called chunking. That's where you break down your material or whatever the information you want to learn into smaller groups. For example, in the Gospel 101, we remember the 5 letters for faith, F-A-I-T-H. If you see in those materials, each letter has 2 or 3 sentences. And so if you remember what goes with F, what goes with A, I, T, you can memorize it much faster. The second one is visual memorization. That's, you get a picture in your mind of something, of a sentence, and so you string those pictures together, and then you can just recall your information in the order that you've learned your pictures. The third one is what's sometimes called the production effect. That is where you, let's say you read something, you say it out loud, and then you may associate the things around you so that you have 3 different stimuli come into your brain that helps you remember it quicker. You can also memorize material by teaching people the materials. And it also, when you find out where you stumble when you're teaching it, that gives you an idea of what you need to practice more on. And believe me, I know about that one. You can put information on cards. A lot of people do on index cards and carry it around with them. And then discipline yourself to read them several times a day, and it'll help you remember faster. You can record yourself on your smartphone. And then several times during the day, you can just replay it over and over, whether you're driving or whatever you're doing. A 7th way is you sing it. You pick a favorite tune or a hymn and you sing that information so that when you start memorizing it and then you remember the tune, it'll just carry you along in chronological order of what you wanted to learn. Now the 8th one is called method of loci or the mind palace. Now that's the method that Roman and Greek orators learned in order to remember these long speeches that they gave. And basically what you do is you find a familiar location, let's say your house, and you go through the house and you have different rooms. Then you do it in an orderly fashion. So you walk from the first room, the second room, the third room, you out all the way to the back door. Then you go through and you take those particular objects you want to remember and place them in that room. So, but you do it in a chronological order. So as you walk through room 1, you'll see that one thing. You go to room 2, you'll see other things, and you can that way remember it by pictures in your mind. Now, there's a lot of different methods and systems for memorizing, and so we just kind of hit the highlights. But if you really want to learn more about it, you can go to YouTube or Google, and you can search things like memorizing scripture, improving your memory, just memorization, method of loci, the mind palace. You'll find lots of information, and you can dig and go as deep in that as you want to improve your memory. Now, you know, the real secret to memorizing is that you have a system, and you're committed, you're determined, and you're persistent, and that you do a lot of repetition and a recall. And you must believe that even when you see a pile of things you have to memorize, you have to believe that if you keep trying and don't give up, you're going to get to the top of that mountain, and you're going to learn it. Now, confidence and competency comes through repetition and recall. You know, once you learn how to deliver or memorize a gospel presentation, you have something that you can use for the rest of your life to honor God at any time that you want to. Good luck on your memory.